What is up, and welcome back to another episode of Blindside Sports. My name is Emmett Douglas, and joining me today is my partner Nick Wright. And no, we didn't have that blooper from last week happen. I figured that out. I closed the other tab. But
Wait, what does that mean?
What happened? The blooper from remember last week on the show when I had that video just blast through my ears because I was tweeting out the link as I was talking. Yeah, that happened. But huge NFL news the past couple days, whether it's free agency or the biggest diva in sports, Aaron Rodgers. God, I'm so over that story, but we have to lead. We have to lead with it.
Of course.
So Aaron Rodgers today goes on Pat McAfee, and he's like, "Yo, I want to go to the Jets." And it's basically official, right? Yesterday, if you guys don't know, he put out a wish list of guys he wanted the New York Jets to effort signing in free agency. Names including Mercedes Lewis, Alan Lazard, Odell Beckham Jr., Randall Cobb. And really quickly, Nick, you're going to hate this comparison, but you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Remember a couple of years ago when LeBron was recruiting like Melo and like Rondo and all his homies to the Lakers? Like just to have fun? That's kind of what this reminds me of.
And Westbrook, technically?
Yeah. I mean,
supposedly, here's the thing, Emmett. Supposedly, Rodgers, of course, would say that's false information. He didn't try to do that. But come on. Of course he freaking did. He wants to have New York in a vice, and he wants all these demands because he could save the Jets organization. Like, of course that's true. So,
for sure.
Here's the thing. Green Bay holds the cards now, though, right?
Yeah.
Green Bay has the Jets by the balls. And I'm just curious what the Jets are willing to give up. Now that Aaron Rodgers, by the way, it's not like, I'm a scrub on Twitter. Like I'm just a random guy on Twitter. But like I literally had a draft where I was like, do people not think that Aaron Rodgers, because he's always on McAfee's show every week, do people not think he's gonna like say what he's gonna do on McAfee's show tomorrow? And I didn't hit send, and I'm kind of annoyed by it because that would have been, maybe my classical 3 to 4 likes per tweet thing. But I just, I just really think it was obvious that Rodgers would say what he's gonna do on McAfee's show. And what did he really, he said that he wants to play for the Jets. Is that, and Emmett, I'm not, I look a lot on social media and Twitter. People aren't really asking, is this like a little game by Rod? He said he wants to play for the Jets, but does he really want to play for the Jets? Could this be like a game that he's playing? Green Bay holds all the cards. What if something falls through? Is Rodgers trying to up what he wants, what the Packers want to get potentially?
It would be the most Aaron Rodgers thing ever, though.
Well, of course. God. He is the most unlikable. By the way, I think I've said this on the show before. Like, he is the most unlikable athlete in my lifetime. I can't think of somebody more unlikable than Aaron Rodgers.
It's gotten so much worse over time, too.
It's like, even the last few years, I fooled myself to where, like, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't draw this kind of stuff out. He's going to be 40 years old. You saw last year, he's not washed, but he is not the Aaron Rodgers of old. And it's like, what are we? And now he's literally, this is what's funny. When I saw the McAfee stuff, it's like, Aaron Rodgers, he's like, this isn't decision day. Like, this is not I decided what I wanted to do, but it's not decision day. Oh, like 20 minutes later, he's like, on Friday, I said I want to play for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Like, what are we, like, this guy is the biggest just D-bag that I can remember in sports. Like, it's
pretty rough, man.
Hate is a strong word because I don't, want to say I hate people that I literally don't know. But he is the most dislikable athlete I can remember in my lifetime, and there's been a lot. There's a lot of them.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and it's just got, like you said, there's been so much over the past 3 years since that draft story broke in April or May of 2021 on draft day. I remember hearing Isaac Lowenkron break the news that first started saying Aaron Rodgers was unhappy. So at that point, I think that's when it started to go downhill for Rodgers, that 2021 offseason, and like, obviously, he wasn't much liked before that, but that he just became unbearable the past couple off seasons. But you're right. It is up to the Packers. The Packers, it's all up to them. There was a report earlier on Twitter saying that the Packers are expecting 2 first-round picks from Aaron Rodgers. But
oh my God, that would be insane if the Jets actually do that. They should hang up the phone. That's insane. I think honestly, I think 1 first-round pick is insane. Like I don't know if I would do a first. Like, what are we doing here? Like what Aaron Rodgers showed last year, and do we really think he's going to be just better next year? And like, I know the Jets were, and that's the thing. If the Jets get him, I think they're going to be formidable. I think they'll be a wild card team probably because.
But then again, let's say the Jets get him. He does great and all that.
Okay.
Playoff Aaron Rodgers. I can't trust that. I can't trust that.
Choke artist of all time. So, and here's the thing too. Even I admit, and we're both kind of Rodgers haters, right? I mean, think about the AFC. He has to face Josh Allen twice a year. He'll have to face, I'm a hater. I mean, not a hater of him. I just don't think he's great. Tua twice a year.
But that Dolphins team's crazy.
And then,
we'll get to that in a minute, too.
I'm definitely a hater of him. Mac Jones twice a year with Belichick.
That's not much.
I know, but I mean, they're going to get a new offensive coordinator. And
they signed Juju today. That's an interesting.
Oh, and by the way, the whole thing from going from God, who the F was it? Was it Myers? I can't.
Jacoby Myers.
Thank you. Like literally going from him to Juju and like on that price, it's like, why would you get off? I don't understand that. By the way, that contract is terrible with Juju. And
if you're Juju, why would you want to go why would you just want to stay in KC and get easy balls from Mahomes?
It's just kind of like, just kind of hang out. You're like the fourth best receiver on that team. Like, why not get thrown to by one of the GOATs? Like, I don't know.
And you're probably going to win a couple more Super Bowls in
anyway,
there.
Like Aaron Rodgers, think about that. For 6 games, he's got Belichick twice. He's got Josh Allen twice. I mean, it's not
the Dolphins. Yeah.
And Tua. Again, Tua. I mean, the Dolphins getting Jalen Ramsey. Their defense is getting better. They signed other guys, and I hope if Tua stays healthy, I'm kind of a hater of him. But I mean, the Dolphins are a legit threat, and so the AFC is so stacked. And can we get into this? I kind of meant to make a list before we got on, but where does Aaron Rodgers rank in the AFC in quarterbacks?
Ooh, all right, let's get.
Come on.
So
Mahomes is number 1.
Mahomes. Yep. Burrow and Herbert are up there. And
Allen. Here's the thing.
Those 4
people will say. I mean, do you want to do it in order? Because
these are just that come to my mind. All right,
I'll be biased and say I would have Herbert over Josh Allen, but at the same time, I love Josh Allen. I mean, hey, those red zone picks last year. I'm not saying he regressed, but
he kind of did. But
at the same time, Herbert, they're up 27-0, and a lot of people blame Herbert for that loss against Jacksonville in the playoffs. I even was critical of him. And because he overthrew Keenan Allen for an easy touchdown that would have sealed the game.
Yep.
But at the same time, Herbert has a slice of that blame pie. But come on, the defense gave up a 27-0 lead. It's not on Herbert.
All right. Anyway, here we go. All right. Mahomes won. Mahomes won. Burrow 2.
Burrow's 2. I agree.
And like you said, that twist of Herbert and Allen, I think. Just because of that loss, I'm gonna have to put Allen like slightly above Herbert. That's a 3 spot. Herbert at 4. 5 is where it could get tricky because who knows what's gonna happen with Lamar next season.
I would say Lamar. That's just me. But
all right, we're gonna keep the safe pick and say Lamar here. We'll pretend you stay in the AFC. That's 5. 6.
I guess Trevor.
Trevor, yeah. I'd put Aaron Rodgers over Tua, but they're pretty neck and neck, I think.
No, I would put Rodgers over Tua.
But I'm putting Rodgers, but like if Tua has like another year where he stays healthy and like it's a full season of like him at his highest potential last year, then Rodgers has like a similar season to this year. And this is obviously, we'll say Aaron Rodgers isn't a Jet. So we got Trevor Lawrence, and then we got Tua. So that's 7. 8. I'd probably put Jimmy G or Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell Wilson's
That's a coin flip too. I mean, if you go on face value and just go from Russell Wilson from last year, I guess I'd say Jimmy G. But
that's kind of crazy.
But I mean, I guess I'll go away from just talent in general. I mean, with Sean Payton, I just don't think that the Broncos and Russell Wilson will be as bad as they were last year. I just, I think that's crazy. And I've said, again, the most annoying thing that kills the quarterback wins crowd, who I hate more than anybody in sports fandom, Jimmy G had that Niners team around him for years. And guess what? They just got rid of the Raiders got rid of Darren Waller.
And Jimmy G loves his tight ends.
Yeah. Kittle.
Foster Monroe's solid, but he's not a Darren Waller.
Kittle, his back still hurts from carrying Jimmy G for several years. And now they lost Darren Waller. I mean, not poor Devontae Adams. I don't feel bad for him, but it's like he's going to go from one guy, Derek Carr, who overthrows him all the time, and now he's going to go to Jimmy Garoppolo, who's going to be a check down. And so Devontae Adams is going to be a check down merchant, basically, because he is like what, Jimmy G is going to throw him deep? No, he's not. That's going to be a pick. So, I mean, poor Devontae. I mean, that's just,
he was really, really, really wanting Aaron Rodgers after this season. You could tell. I think he was a little sad by that one. I mean, he posted on his IG like,
hey, I mean, he left to go to with his buddy Derek Carr. Derek Carr is not there, and now he's like, ooh.
I don't think he's that mad about it. Like, I don't know.
Well, he got his money. I mean,
you can't really be mad. I mean,
but I just hope to see. I mean, I hope Devontae's ready for some up the middle 15-yard slants, because that's going to be his career next year. So we're going to see about that. Jimmy can't throw deep. But the one thing I tweeted out, like, all right, here's the thing. As a Charger fan, the Chiefs are going to win the division for many years to come. I'm not an idiot. Like, that's going to happen. And then hopefully Sean Payton doesn't make Russell Wilson again from 5 years ago. Oh, God. Because that's a big threat. And then, the Raiders got Jimmy G. Don't really have to worry about that little team over there, just like last year. So the only threat is in the AFC West if Russell Wilson has a big resurgence with Sean Payton. And that's my only worry.
I think there's I don't think Jimmy G is going to be like Niners Jimmy G good. I think he's going to be a solid quarterback. But if you're asking me to pick like the Raiders over the Chargers, I'm not doing that. I'm picking the Chargers.
Raiders over Broncos. Would you do it?
Nah. I don't know that, because like something tells me, like, I just, as much as I'm a Russell Wilson, kind of ripper.
I know he's your guy.
As much, no, I'm not a Russell Wilson guy. Like I'm a little mad at him. He should have
won you 2 Super Bowls. What do you mean?
He should. Well, I am then, but not anymore. He's on the Broncos, but he did. Hey, he threw that pick though. He could have.
Okay. That's the thing. I'm a Russell Wilson hater, but come on, man. That's a with Marshawn Lynch rushing. That's a layup, easy Super Bowl win, man.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He threw that pick though, so yes, it was probably Pete Carroll's call, and I'm not gonna deny that. But you could have ran it, Russell. You got this, bro. That was like Russell Wilson's prime of his scrambling career too.
I'll never forget the moment when that happens. Like, that was a 1 in a million interception.
I remember it vividly. I was sitting in my living room.
That's the thing. What do you mean?
I was sitting on my couch.
You're like 9 years old.
I remember that so well. I was so mad. I was 10.
Yeah.
He threw the pick. I was just like, because as a kid, Tom Brady was like the worst thing to sports to me, because he was always so good. But now, obviously now, you guys hear what I say about Brady on this
funny
show.
When you say that, when I was a kid, Tom Brady was 5 years deep into the league, pretty much. Like, Tom Brady,
you know what Tom Brady was for you?
He's gone through a span of 2 decades. He's gone through 2 generations of fans. It's crazy.
If you're my age, so when you were my age, it was like Mahomes now for me, basically.
Sure.
That's exactly what it was. Because you're in your mid 30s now, so that was.
Sadly.
16, So the 2007, you were probably 20 or something.
That was my senior year of high school. I was 17. Yeah.
Yep. So that's it was literally the same thing. Mahomes,
and that was the year. I'll never forget it too. I was about to graduate. It was almost high school graduation-ish time, and it was the famous year where the Patriots were undefeated. and Phillip Rivers blew his ACL, but still played on it like a champion.
That
was the year. And then it was the classic McCree fumble. McCree was an interception. He fumbled it, and the Patriots got it back. Would have sealed the game. Chargers would have went to the Super Bowl and killed that 16 win streak for the Patriots. But nope, the Giants got those credits, and the Chargers still 16 years later are cursed.
Yeah, very much cursed. And back on topic here to kind of conclude the Aaron Rodgers point. If we're looking at how stacked the AFC quarterbacks are right now, he'd probably be middle of the pack. But NFC though, I think that's a different talk.
What a landfill! Just horrible.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week. It's like you got Jalen Hurts, Dak.
And then what? Is Baker Mayfield like the third or fourth best quarterback in that freaking division?
I'm such a Baker guy, but oh man,
here's the thing. He's going to that division. Tampa's gonna win that division. He can throw it to
Mike Evans, Chris Godwin when he's healthy. Yeah, come on, I mean, maybe they throw in Haymaker and start Kyle Trask, but I don't think that's going to happen.
And here's the thing: in the few games that Baker played with the Rams, and the Rams, by the way, were decimated in offensive line. Like I think they used like 30 different guys throughout the year. It was something insane like that. And Baker, remember that Raider game when he just took him back down the field in the last few minutes?
Yeah.
And
then the Christmas Day debacle against the Broncos, he like 50 burger. Like even though it was the Broncos, that a 50 burger is impressive. And yeah, the Broncos defense was like allowing around 20 points per game.
He's going to the NFC South with a pretty good team around him, and the Panthers, who are gonna who know? Oh, we can talk about this a little bit later. Yeah. Who they're going to pick first? I know who they should pick, but we can talk about that later. I mean, the Saints, Jameis Winston, okay, and then the Falcons just got Taylor Heineke. Oh wow, that's great,
Derek Carr on the.
Saints I'm sorry. The Saints. I don't know why I said that. The Saints got Carr.
They did re-sign Jameis yesterday, but he's going to be their backup.
He's going to be obviously the backup. But I mean, yeah, I totally forgot about Derek Carr going through the Saints. God. So I'd still pick Baker in the Bucks at this point, if I'm being honest with you.
It's funny too. Stinks. Last week we were like, oh yeah, the Saints are definitely winning this division, and then Baker signed with the Bucks, which I think I've hinted at on this very show.
I'll bet on Baker because I've always said for years like Derek Carr is just the definition of mediocrity, and
definition of mid.
Raiders fans always kill me for that, and say like, a couple years ago when like it was week 17 and like they beat us when Derek Carr had nothing to do with that win.
Typical Raiders stuff. Emmett Douglas, Nick Wright here on Blindside Sports. Now, a huge trade happened on Friday where the Carolina Panthers traded up like half their like future for the number 1 pick.
Yes,
I mean,
a fleece. By the way, Emmett, Soldier Field is about 10 minutes away from me. I'm gonna be going to a few Bears games this year, so that's gonna be fun. But my God, what a fleece job by Chicago!
Oh, they are. Chicago. They are so set up, man. They got their number 1 receiver now in DJ Moore, like. That's
the fact that Carolina give a DJ Moore too in that deal, like what?
Yeah,
good God,
giving up like your first a couple seconds, DJ
and your
Moore,
best receiver,
which you could probably get a second for DJ Moore.
I mean,
I would go
to I think he's worth a third if I'm being honest. He's a solid, but I mean,
second, early third.
Look at the third round pick. I mean, Jalen Ramsey got a third. You know what I mean? Like
Darren Waller got a third.
Thank you. It's like he's not going to get more than a third.
But I think Moore is a little bit younger. But like if you're like you could fleece job a team
1,000 yards a year. I mean, with what quarterback? You know what I mean?
True. Exactly, and that's it. And obviously, we know what the Carolina Panthers are doing. There was a really dumb report that came out right after this trade that I had to laugh at. I don't know if you saw this, Nick, but they were like, the Panthers could trade down again.
Trade down again. That would be okay. Have you seen the movie Draft Day?
I've heard of that. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's the worst, stupidest ending in sports movie history. But it's like it's that kind of situation. It's like it's just so delusional and so stupid it would never happen. but Carolina is actually flirting with it. I don't think they are, by the way. I
don't think they are either.
Like, there's no way. Like, they need they're all in on their quarterback in the future. And I gotta ask. I mean, I just don't understand the Anthony Richardson thing. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, I think there's definitely some hope there.
He doesn't complete. He can't. He doesn't show any complete passes.
That would be more of a developmental guy. Like
I get it's like the Cam Newton kind of like style, like whatever. But it's like, okay, Cam Newton could freaking throw the ball. Like, this guy hasn't shown.
Yeah, Cam had that. That was the difference between Cam and a lot of these running quarterbacks now. Is Cam had a freaking bullet of an arm. I mean, that dude could throw.
And Richardson he was like what 50? I think it was like 54% completions or something. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, the new wave is those rushing quarterbacks, though, like that kind of style.
I know it's the new. I know it's like the new age thing. I get it, but I just think trading that kind of draft capital for a player that's just so unknown would be insane. And then also,
like there's a good chance that, like, I don't think they're gonna draft Richardson. There's a good chance Richardson could fall to 9. I mean, like, I don't think the Cardinals are taking a quarterback at 3. I mean,
they can't.
Yeah, like, I mean,
the Colts. I can see the Colts doing it. Colts are Jim Irsay's a terrible owner. I mean,
Seahawks are probably going somewhere on that defense. I mean, we'll get to the Seahawks in a couple minutes. Jermon Jones, what a move. So, like, if you think about it, like, and I believe the Lions have a pick number 6. I believe. God, they're like, but like, if you think about, like, if everything were to go perfect, if they really wanted Richardson, they probably could have even traded up like 2 or 3 slots and drafted.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was no way he would go in the top 5. I mean, if he goes in the top 5, it's gonna be insane. But I mean, and then, like, I get Bryce Young's really good, but I mean, again, like,
Alabama quarterback,
dude's 5'10" with by a drop of water. I mean, you know how I feel about short quarterbacks who are tall as me. I mean,
it's CJ Stroud, right? Is that where you're going?
CJ Stroud should be the first round pick. And I feel bad because I think he's a great talent that's going to go to a bad franchise. Herbert, excuse me. But yeah, no, CJ Stroud looks the part, and I think he's going to play the part when he gets in the NFL, even though he has a bad team around him.
Yeah, I think that's it. And the Panthers they're in for a while now, but you trade away your first next year and your second, like, it's going to be kind of rough there unless they can pull someone off. I mean, they did talk to Adam Thielen today, which is kind of funny. Like, is Adam Thielen going to be the number 1 receiver now that DJ Moore's gone?
If he's number 1, I mean, at this point, they got rid of Moore. They got to take what they can get. I mean, Thielen's still spry. He's still good.
Yeah.
For Cousins, he was pretty good. I mean, I guess you should take him. But yeah.
I don't know. If I were Thielen, though, I'd want to go to, like, a team like the Chiefs or the Bengals and just run up and have fun.
You should want to go to the AFC with a good quarterback.
I don't want to go play with Mahomes or Joe Shiesty or something.
I mean, I don't know if the teams would want to, like, as a Charger fan, we need speed guys. We have too many old guys. Like, I don't want Thielen. Hell no. Yeah. So, but like, he
worked perfectly on like a little veteran situation for like Mahomes or Burrow or even Josh Allen. I mean, that's like a big plot twist. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets and he joins that. I mean, you never know. I just don't see him want to be at like the Panthers to end your career. You're not winning anything.
Yeah, but at the same time, who's Anthony Thielen? Like, come on,
Adam Thielen,
whatever.
I mean, he did pretty solid for the Vikings for years. Like, pretty solid receiver.
He was solid. He was really good. But was he ever like a top 20? Like, come on. I mean, he had a good career. He's a solid guy. He helped me win one title a couple years ago. He was one of my flex guys. I'm not.
Yeah, 2018 was his like prime, I think. Like,
so I mean, I think that was, I feel like that was around the time I won one of my many Super Bowl fantasy championships. But I'm just saying, like, he's not like, just some stud.
For sure. So for the Bears, though, the Bears, man, and this sounds so weird to say that the Bears are actually being smart with this. I mean, we knew they're going to trade down, and I said it on this show. I said this to everyone I've talked about like football with. I knew it was going to be a fleece situation. I knew some team was going to be dumb enough to pay a lot for that pick. Which, you're gonna give up a lot for the number 1 pick, deservedly so, But I
Jesus.
Think, that is, oh man. I mean, the Bears are probably thanking the Panthers, and then obviously they went into free agency having $100 million worth of cap space. So they signed Tremaine Edmonds from the Bills. Like the Bears are on top of it. I mean, they got their number one receiver. They got Justin Fields, who's developing. I mean,
sure, yep. Sorry, keep going.
Ninth pick. I mean, the money, like the Bears. I mean, they're doing pretty good. I mean, the Lions are definitely, I think, the favorites early. We're in March, but I think they're the early betting odd favorites to win the division next year. I mean, the Lions were also making some splashes in free agency and signing people like Cam Sutton and stuff like that. So, I don't know how I feel about this one, but they picked up David Montgomery, and it looks like they're gonna let Jamal Williams go. So they're gonna have a little two-headed backfield there in Swift and Montgomery. So
I thought I saw Montgomery left the Bears.
Yeah, I said Montgomery went to the Lions.
Sorry.
I'm talking about the division favorites now.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
The Bears are a very close, like, second. I mean, the Packers are, if Aaron Rodgers goes, they're in a rebuild. So, but back real quickly, I forgot to say this. How funny would it be if Aaron Rodgers didn't go to the Jets, but Alan Lazard signed there?
Oh my God! I mean, good Lord, he'd be hoodwinked. I mean, he probably thought like this. That was the whole plot.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I thought too, and I was like, man, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't go to the Jets, I bet Lazard's hating his life. Lazard's probably like, I just played myself.
I mean, oh my God! I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, I want to go back to Justin Fields. I mean,
yeah, go back.
So obviously, the Bears are set on like, okay, this guy's gonna be our future, and we're now gonna surround. Good Lord, do they have an opportunity to surround him as a team? My God, is it the best decision though? Because Cowherd has a whole thing about how, I mean, he's not all it's cracked up to be. I mean, I don't really agree with him. I'm glad the Bears are just, steadfast and making, all right, Justin Fields is our guy. He has shown ability.
Yeah, he's shown glimpses of it for sure. That's why I'm like, what are you doing, Cowherd? Like, did you see what Cowherd said the other day?
But still, I mean, how many wins they have last year? When I'm not saying, I just don't want to go like Justin Fields is like some kind of amazing stud. I think, but it's been a few years now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm glad. Again, he's
going into his third season, so this is kind of the third year right here is a make or break.
And I like that the Bears are like, okay, we're not going to gamble with another rookie that could be, maybe worse than what we have in Justin. So let's build this team around him and let's go. And I think it's going to work out. And by the way, I'm calling my shot right now. Austin Eckler wants a trade from the Chargers. And as a Charger fan, yeah, you can get the hell out of here. You had good service time here, but we're not paying you top quarterback money, top running back money. It's not
at the age of 28. Yeah,
it's not happening. He's not a true running back one. All the touchdowns that he has in the red zone, thank you. We really appreciate it. But in the second half of the playoffs, he had 5 rushes for 0 yards. The Chargers need a true running back. He's not a true running back. He's a playmaker. He's not a true running back. And the Chargers need a true running back. Bijan Robinson in the first pick for the Chargers. Just saying that right now. But, the Bears just lost David Montgomery. I think the Bears can be willing to give up a 3rd-round pick for Austin Eckler. I think it would help out Justin Fields a lot.
Yeah.
Because Eckler makes plays. He can dump it off. He can do a slant to Eckler because Eckler's a yak merchant. I mean, come on. I think the Bears or Austin Eckler would be great.
You had that the 1-2 punch in the backfield. You pick Austin Eckler up for like a 3rd or a 4th round pick, and then you sign Jamal Williams. Like there's options.
Yeah. Like there is.
If the Bears are smart about this, they could really set their future up right. And
that's the thing. It's in the NFC. Like, you don't have to be, like, super great to be good in the NFC at this point.
The only teams you have to worry about are, I think, the Niners. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys are still – they're going to be making noise. Probably I hate – the Giants, they're going to be kind of scary.
No.
And it's all because of the guy, Brian Daboll.
Yep.
Danny Dimes. And that's what I said. I said it last week on our show, and I said it to Chris Broussard and Rob Parker on the Odd Couple for Trash Talking Tuesday. That this Giants team is a product of Brian Daboll. And if you go back to last year or the year before that, when Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator on the Bills, like look how scary the Bills were. I mean,
yep.
Now look at I guarantee if Brian Daboll was still in Buffalo calling plays, Josh Allen wouldn't have those red zone picks or as much of those red zone picks.
The Giants went to the playoffs and won a playoff game with Daniel Jones, who threw 15 touchdowns all year long.
And 3,200 passing yards.
That is like, if Daniel Jones, I mean, can he, if he upgrades just a little bit, and let's just say like a normal quarterback throws like 25 to 28 touchdowns, like good Lord, the Giants would steamroll the NFC. But Daniel Jones is limited, and Brian Daboll sucked every ounce of what he could do. And they still, by the way, for the quarterback wins crowd, like this quarterback, like Dan Marino never won a – Daniel Jones won a playoff game after he threw only 15 freaking touchdowns the year. Like,
yeah.
I don't want to hear about quarterback wins crap anymore. Like I just imagine if the Giants had like Herbert or something like that, that'd be a back-to-back title.
Or even if Brian Daboll found out like the talents of like Geno Smith or something. Like,
speaking of Daboll, I'll never forget when the Chargers had an opportunity to make Daboll the coach, but they went with Brandon effing Staley.
If you guys made Daboll the coach, you probably have had a Super Bowl.
Yep, I think we'd have. I think Herbert's got one in the tank right now.
Yeah, I mean it's so weird. I mean, you never expected Daboll to be good. I mean, but the team is electric.
I'm sure you remember Gavin Kinzel, producer for Fox Sports Radio. We were both Charger fans, and I remember at the time being on the board when he was producing, we were praying for Daboll. It's like, Brian Daboll, please, please, please. Nope, it was Staley, and the rest is history. Just terrible, just horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure Gavin's very fed up with that too. He doesn't get to spew his hot takes on the Chargers anymore. But man, I mean, if you guys had Daboll, talk about Chargers chargering right there, picking up Brandon Staley instead of Brian Daboll. I mean, did we expect it to be like probably back then? Like, I don't think people said it was gonna be as electric as it was. Like, if compared to now, like say like you guys had another opportunity to get Daboll, I think people would be a lot more down with it. But just imagine if you guys found that dude's potential a couple of years ago instead of Staley's.
Here's the thing: we got the Cowboys offensive coordinator now. I'm feeling great about it. I think he's going to change Herbert. He's going to actually throw down the field, and hopefully we pick up a really good receiver in the first round in the draft, I should say. But the Chargers, if you ask me any year that I think it'd be a good idea to pick a running back in the first round, I would have shot myself because I never think it's a good idea. But this Bijan, I'm probably butchering it, Robinson from Texas, this kid's a playmaker, and I think he's going to be a force. And if the Chargers can get him and take the load off Herbert, because this guy just runs north and south and just plows you down. Eckler wasn't a north and south guy. He was a playmaker that goes east to west and, tries to shimmy a little bit. Eckler was terrible going straight up the gut. Bijan gets at you. And I think for the Chargers, it would just be a home run. Yeah,
that's it too. I mean, as a Seahawks guy, I know about the first round running back picks. I mean, with Rashad Penny, if it works, it works. I mean, sometimes you get really lucky. And I think the Chargers, they do need like kind of a north-south guy, like you said, to put around Justin Herbert and to give Kellen Moore some weapons, because if you have that good running game, that's going to open up the deep game a lot more because you're going to have that defense guessing. And that's kind of, yeah.
Right now, I mean, Kellen Moore is going to, this is why I think, here's the thing. After that playoff loss, which is the most devastating loss in my life as a fan of any of my teams, I really think Kellen Moore is going to change this off. Herbert with broken ribs last year with Joe Lombardi as offensive coordinator, who was just a terrorist who could not call plays. And Herbert was still top 3 in passing yards with broken ribs. Kellen Moore made Dak Prescott look really damn good. And who's their backup that had to play for like a month?
Cooper Rush, baby.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Cooper Rush. And Cooper Rush are pretty decent too. Now he has Justin Herbert's arm. Oh my God.
Speaking of Cowboys backups, Nick, tomorrow I'll be at the Sea Dragons XFL game. Ben DiNucci,
nice.
baby. Yeah.
I watch the XFL
versus the Roughnecks.
Hey, wow, very nice. Yeah,
Yep.
Hey, I love me some so for the XFL. I mean, it's football on TV. I'm gonna tune in. I'm watching it.
That's my point. I talked to somebody a couple weeks ago on Twitter.
Are the rules ridiculous? Sure, but like, hey, maybe the NFL could pick up a few of them.
I mean, with the amount of like the NBA just going down and like downhill and more downhill with each incoming year, I think it only helps leagues like the XFL. I mean, now like there's so many anti-NBAers out there now that that's like half the ratings are just from people. I need sports to watch, but screw the NBA. Let's watch some football, baby.
Who the hell wants to watch the Spurs and the Rockets on a Wednesday night?
Is that really the national TV game?
I just said.
I was about to say. No,
I mean, might as well be. I mean, like if I actually bring it up, I mean, come on. I mean, here's the thing. The Lakers are. We can talk about.
How about AD last night, man? Whoo! That AD last night, though. I mean, even though he's not playing tonight.
Yeah, I know it's annoying. He's got to rest. The Lakers said he's not playing back-to-backs, which I really wish AD would sack up and be like, "Screw this! I'm gonna play anyway." I get it. He's injury prone, so I'm not gonna kill him. I get it, but I just think. Good God. I don't know if we can transition to this later, but I'm just saying watch out for the Lakers because this is going to get interesting when the playoffs start.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to do like a whole, like, because like now I got March Madness. We talked about this last week.
God.
I'm not going to lie. I'll probably watch it like before the game tomorrow just a little bit, but I'm not going to, like, I'll just have it on as background noise like I do like FSR or whatever. Like while I'm doing something.
Literally care less about March. I've said this before. This is my most hated month in sports. I just don't get it. I'm just not a college sports fan in general, but college basketball, are you kidding me?
Were you a big college football guy when you're on because you're on the boards Saturday day?
I know. Steve Hartman had to do it was a highlight clip show. No, I could care less. I mean, my grandpa went to UCLA, so technically I do root for UCLA. And, USC was fun when I was a high schooler with Matt Leinart and Richard Bush.
Yep.
But, I mean, no, I really don't care about college football either, if I'm being honest. I'll be lying.
I'll like college football is definitely better than college basketball, like for sure, without a doubt. Like, but sure. Yeah, I'm not like I'm more of a casual for the college football, and the reason I watch it is because it's so important for like the NFL, and then that's kind of why. And I get into it, the basketball around this time to kind of look at guys that could potentially be in the NBA or that could potentially be good. But now, I mean, we got a lot of these Euro guys coming out this year for the NBA, like a lot of these European people. So I think that's really cool to see. I mean, you got the league, like all the sports leagues are so like diverse. I know we talked about it last week with baseball and the baseball classic.
Oh,
how we got like, all these.
We got to talk about that too. Team USA, do or die. I can't believe I'm even saying that out loud against Colombia tonight. And by the way, Emmett, if I tweeted this out a couple days ago, if Team USA baseball doesn't make it out of this pool, that's what they call it, worse than the USA not even qualifying 4 years ago. Like that is, I mean, they better freaking win tonight. That's all I'm going to say because I will go nuclear. I mean, and people are in my mentions like, nobody cares about the World Baseball Classic. They have a good lineup. They still have a good, solid lineup with Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Goldschmidt. Granted, their pitching isn't great. I don't care. In terms of maybe besides Japan, like they're pitching to like AA standard players across the world. Like when I was watching that game against Great Britain, and I was losing my mind because this one pitcher for Great Britain was literally throwing. His highest fastball rate was 86 miles an hour. I'm like, those are meatballs down the middle, and they couldn't. I mean, they still won the game, but I mean,
it wasn't like.
And then Mexico beat our ass. I'm like, what the hell? What is this?
Yeah,
that was a joke.
Then.
Then we ran a train on Canada last night, so we gotta pretty much win and in. We gotta beat Colombia tonight, but if they don't, it's gonna be so embarrassed. Like, it'd be the most embarrassing Team USA loss of any sport, I think, in a really long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see because I think a lot of people are actually kind of like, especially like the heavy baseball fans are kind of like would have to agree with you on that one. I mean,
it's USA. I mean,
keeping it close when the British pitcher throwing 86 miles per hour consistently as a fastball, and that not being an absolute just mollywop, shout out K-Fig of a game, is just crazy.
And I think it'd be so the biggest Team USA on top of my head when 2004 the Team USA basketball team had a stacked team and got smoked. That was really bad. And I believe that was 2004. And then obviously Team USA not qualifying 4 years ago, that was really bad. I think this trumps it. I think this would trump it. With
especially if the losses.
I get it. I get it if they have like a not a great as lineup as they have. I don't. Again, people say, "Oh, their pitching is terrible." Don't really care. Don't care. They're better in every other country. Don't want to hear it. Even the third string pitchers on Team USA are better in every other country. Don't want to hear it. They have to win. If they don't win this whole freaking thing, it's going to be embarrassing. They need. I mean,
I don't think they will. I'll say that now with the way it's been going. I mean, that's definitely not looking
Japan,
good for them.
Japan's really good.
Japan's crazy. Yeah, Japan.
Okay. Otani baby, but
Otani.
My God, is he lighting it up? But yeah, anyway, Team USA has got to win this game tonight. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. Probably, hey, that's gonna be more entertaining than the Spurs Rockets doubleheader on national TV tonight. So. Might as well watch it.
And I'm sure, some players are going to sit out for literally no reason at all. NBA is wondering why it's losing ratings.
Yeah, they got to figure that. Okay, I was talking.
I saw a clause. Did you see the updated clause they want to implement?
What one?
Or what I just saw that starting next year that they're going to crack down on players sitting out games basically.
Yeah, I feel like. There's a way because I understand. Okay, maybe the 82 games could. Okay, yeah, maybe it could be a little long. I get. Okay, whatever. But just this game of I'm saying you have to feel. And Bobo was saying this on FSR a while ago. He was really one of the first people I heard to really, really, really take this opinion hard. Is you buy these tickets. For example, say me and you are gonna go see LeBron tomorrow.
There you go. Yes,
never see.
Right. We've talked about this before.
Pretend LeBron's not injured. Right? We'll just say everything's normal. And then you check your phone that next day. You go on Twitter in the morning, oh, today's that day. We're going to the NBA game. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Shams Sharamia tweets that LeBron James is out due to a sore leg or just some random injury. And I get, maybe, I don't know how they're going to do it. I mean, because it's gonna cause a whole world war among the players. I don't know how they're going to figure it out. I mean, maybe a kind of a PTO where if you really need a 1 game break, there's you have a certain amount you can get every year, not too heavy, but you have to let them know in advance, for the load management, because half these guys, and I'm not I get it's not our place to say if these dudes are injured or not, but it's safe to say a lot of these dudes are fine. They'll be dropping 45 and 15 and then the next day they're I can't even play this game. 2 days later, it's really weird, and I'm really curious to see how the NBA does it because it's such a tricky situation, and they have to get it right, or else the players are going to lose it.
There was a former player on Coward's show a couple weeks ago. I mean, I forgot who it was, but he said once you're in the NBA, obviously every NFL player is hurt. Everyone's playing hurt.
Yes.
The grind from high school, college, and into the NBA. You're not going to feel good every single night, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
No matter what, but it's you get paid this money to show up every night and play.
For sure.
It's I'm just nowadays more than ever. And my only thing that I would maybe for a solution to me at least, can we just end the back-to-backs? I think that would solve a lot of issues.
Yes. That's a good point.
And maybe, I would think a lot of people would disagree with this, but I just think if you just shorten the season by 10 games, I think that would help too. But then have a clause where it's if you have to literally prove to the NBA higher ups, the team has to prove that you are hurt and cannot play tonight. Kawhi Leonard has been getting away with murder for years.
Yes.
He literally sits out games without being hurt. Like, I've never seen
All
anything
thanks to
like it,
freaking Greg Popovich that freaking ruined the NBA.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Don't even get me started on that guy. What a bum.
Oh yeah. So it's just when I see like when Kawhi Leonard, and by the way, when nobody talks, it's like nobody talks about it. Like everyone knows Kawhi isn't hurt, and he always just takes half of a season off, and nobody says anything. It just blows my mind, and it drives me insane because I don't even think he's that all-time great to begin with. So just I don't get it, and I just hope the NBA. I hope Adam Silver comes down on this soon.
Well,
But
it's weird
but
too.
he's already come out and said like he supports the players on sitting out. So
have you heard him talk about it though? Like, have you heard like people like I was in the barber shop getting a haircut a while ago, and a couple weeks ago, and they had like the First Take, I believe, from ESPN on the TV, and so Adam Silver was on, and the way he just talks about it, like it's like he'll like contradict his own point, and then he'll be like saying like I don't know, like it's a long way, and I'm like, I heard you literally last year on Dan Patrick say the same exact thing. Like, figure it out.
Here I'm gonna say the out loud part that people don't want to hear. When he got Adam Silver is heralded and will not be questioned because he got, I'm blanking on his name, but that racist piece of crap owner from the Clippers from years ago.
I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, like whatever. But just like I feel like he's just heralded for doing that, and it's like nothing. Like there's nothing he can do wrong at this point when he's really not been a good commissioner for a while now. So,
who do you think? Okay, do you think Manfred or Silver worst commissioner?
Oh, Manfred by a freaking mile.
Good.
Manfred's the biggest joke. Do
you remember the chants last year? The people, man, fraud.
yeah, that's a great name for him. He's terrible.
Guys,
by the way, I'm telling you right now.
Here.
Not to pivot, make a whole. I'm not going to make like a segment out of this, but this pitch clock stuff is gonna. Woo! I hope you're ready for some shit show stuff because the pitch clock stuff is gonna.
We already saw it in the
preseason. Like training. It's been decided a few games because of a few seconds, and it's the preseason. It's gonna be a shit show, and I cannot wait. I already know the Angels are gonna suck, so I'm just gonna lay back. And just watch the crap show that's going to unfold on the MLB this year because of this pitch clock stuff. It's going to be glorious. And the amount of excuses from teams who lose or win, this is going to be a great year to criticize the MLB because it's going to be, wow, horrible.
Do you think that could help its ratings?
No,
like,
it's kill it. No,
but,
no,
yeah, but people like you just like sit back, relax, and enjoy all the shit.
No, it's not. I mean, I by the way, I'm already calling it. The first month of the season, they're going to extend the pitch clock because it's too fast. And by the way, in that first month, the amount of pitchers who are going to blow out their elbow or arm, it's gonna be bad because pitchers don't know how to adjust to where it's like 10, 15 seconds quicker. And by the way, I know Ohtani's the man, and he's the best baseball player I've ever seen with my own two eyes, even though Mike Trout's right there too. Ohtani was one of the pitchers who took the most to rewind himself. So I'm a little nervous to see what it's going to do to Shohei. So we'll see about that.
Yeah, it's definitely not a good thing. I mean, I think the MLB is kind of in a desperate stance here where they're like, people don't enjoy.
They want offense without. Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: you were too young for it, but the greatest years of the MLB, and it saved the MLB, is when McGuire and Sosa were juiced out of their freaking minds, and Barry Bonds, and just lit a show up for the whole MLB. And baseball old head purists think that ruined baseball. No, the MLB would be the MLS right now if it wasn't for Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. I've said that for years.
And we said this a couple months ago, like back on this show, like 95% of those guys back then, 90s, early 2000s, were freaking juiced out of their mind. So like, is it really that serious? Like, it feels like one or two guys. Like, let's say like
I say, bring it back. I have no problem. Juice them up. Juice every athlete up. I think it'd be great entertainment for everybody.
Ooh, speaking of juice,
I've always said that.
Speaking of juice, did you hear about the that one UFC guy or boxer or whatever who went on the podcast and was saying how him and LeBron James have
Dale
the same
Sonnen.
plug.
Dale
Yeah.
Sonnen was
Yeah.
he's like it's my same dealer. I mean, Emmett, I think I've said this to you, but I've said this for years too. I've tweeted this. I think LeBron James is the best basketball player who's ever lived. But this late in his career, his age, to still do what he does, it just, I'm not going to say that he is, because I don't think it, kind of. But I mean, would I be shocked to say that
exactly.
LeBron's been juicing? I mean, it wouldn't shock me. It just
me neither.
Wouldn't shock me.
I mean, how old was Kobe in his final year? The down, like ever since, like I feel like he tore his Achilles in that 2013 playoffs. Like I feel like that was kind of the downfall of Kobe. Like I don't, you could tell Kobe wasn't juicing. I mean, like what LeBron's doing now, like if like they like prove that true, I'm not even shocked. Like you said, I mean it's so remarkable what LeBron's doing.
And I know,
like, you have to wonder, because like he's been in the NBA for like 20 years. He went out at the age of 18 to the league. And
too, like LeBron, I mean, he does spend, literally, it's been reported, he spends $1 million on his body a year between, physician and just wellness.
Yeah, diet, trainers.
But I just think, like, for what he's doing at this age, I mean, again, I'm barely young enough to remember. Like, when I was a kid, I don't remember, like, the Wizards Jordan. Like, I can barely remember when Michael Jordan and the Bulls came off their second three-peat. Like, I remember Wizards Jordan, which was like, all right, he's whatever, but he's old. Like,
yes.
What LeBron's doing right now, and by the way, Kareem at this age was a baller, was still amazing too. LeBron is still, like, he's still LeBron. I mean, I saw like a stat thing from the last couple of years, like the Heat LeBron 2012-ish, and like to now, it's like the stats are almost the same besides defensively. Like, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, but yeah, Heat LeBron was a whole nother level though. Like that dude was.
I know, but if you look at the stats, I mean, it's literally beside.
I mean, yes, stats prove it, but I think Heat LeBron was definitely that. Like that was like my prime of watching the NBA too. Like Heat LeBron was something. Like I like now LeBron. You can't really blame him for like regressing defensively. I mean, when you're 38 years old, like it's just gonna happen. So like I don't think but what he's doing offensively every night is impressive.
You say you love Heat LeBron. I do too, but I really truly in my soul think if they didn't choke, like Dirk Nowitzki by himself literally knocked off prime LeBron, prime Wade, prime Bosh by himself. And LeBron was so bad in those finals, the last few games at least. I think LeBron would be in the Heat should have won that series. I think LeBron would no problem be the undisputed GOAT if he didn't fumble away that series.
Yeah, and he didn't like have the Warriors beat him 3 times.
Oh well, they need, and also that's another thing too. It's like let's say
like even one more win against the Warriors in the finals. Like
in a hypothetical world that KD didn't join the Warriors, LeBron. I'll be nice and say they split. Like I think LeBron would have won at least one, and the Warriors they would have been tit for tat.
Yeah,
and LeBron should have 6 rings right now. He really should. He really, really should. And he went to 9 finals in a row. Think about that. That's ridiculous. He's the best of all time. And Lakers fans hate me. Lakers fans are still like a Kobe versus LeBron weirdo conversation. I don't get it.
And Kobe's great, but like if anything, I feel like it's still Jordan versus LeBron, and then Kobe.
No, of course. Yeah, of course. I mean, to me, my list: LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, Magic, Kobe. I mean, it's a biased Laker list, but sue me.
Yeah. Who do you think's the? All right. So you said we're gonna we gotta talk about the Lakers later. So you think the Lakers are gonna make noise in the playoffs now? That
yes.
All right. That's not even like the West is kind of like we both don't. I just don't see the Nuggets in the championship, and
the West is just wild. I mean, it's Jokic.
The Warriors are very, very, very weird too.
My money would. I've been saying this for a while. I would still bet money. I still think the Warriors just know how to turn that switch.
Yes.
Once it's crunch time and playoff time.
But the Suns, man. Did you? This is the most NBA story. Brutal. Yeah.
I don't know. That KD injury is bad, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that definitely ruined it because I thought it was Suns. Like
you said, think about it. Oh, me too. By the way, me too. I thought with that acquisition, the way KD already molded in to the Suns just like that, I'm like, man, all right, well, wrap it up. Think about it. Literally, one of the what do you want to call him? A towel boy or a wash boy? Like, I don't know. Like the area was too slick. Like, you see those like ball boys who come out and like rinse, like he literally slipped. Yeah. It was too wet. Like, think about that poor kid. So that's brutal. So that
kid lost his job.
Oh, I mean, what? I'm never an advocate for people losing jobs, and I mean, you might have cost the team the season. I mean,
yeah.
what am I gonna say?
And just the way that happened too is like in the middle of warm-ups, like, oh, man. Come on, in his home debut, like that kid's probably like kicking himself so hard right now.
Yep. But Emmett, with how wild the West is, I mean, everyone is just in like besides the first two seeds, are just like a gap within each other. I mean, it's unbelievable.
You think the Kings are going to make a run at it, or you think they're going to get bounced?
Who? Wait, what?
The Kings.
Oh, okay. Want to talk about the Kings?
Yeah.
First round and out.
Ooh.
Overhyped. Guarantee. That's my hot take. I know basketball fans will be like, you don't know ball. Okay. All right. They're going to be a first round and out. Guarantee you. Yeah,
they're a very young team. I mean, very, very young. Like
they're not about that playoff life. They have no idea what the playoffs look like. It's going to hit them in the face quick, and I can't wait.
We've learned that with the NBA the past couple of years too, where it's like the teams that we expect to do good just get pummeled like first round. Like people are like, the Nets are gonna win the championship, and then they get out freaking coached by the Celtics in the first round. I mean that was brutal. And then people were like, oh, the Bucks, and then like the people. I remember at the start of the year, people were saying the Clippers were gonna like. I even thought the Clippers were gonna be good.
At the beginning of the year. I'm on record. I said
we were both on record.
The Clippers would win. I thought the Clippers were my pick, and I'm dead wrong.
I thought John Wall was going to be like an addition, but boy, was I wrong about that. John Wall's done. I mean, where is he now? Like, didn't he go back to the Rockets?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they bought him out. The Clippers did, and then he signed back with the Rockets.
It's just crazy. I love Westbrook, and I know they're kind of winning now, but. Let's be real. I mean, like Westbrook's been a disaster no matter how you look at it for the Clippers. So
for sure. I mean, I thought Westbrook was gonna be better than he was like on the Lakers. I was like, okay, like I said, and I said this on the show before. I said it for years. I just thought Westbrook on the Lakers was a bad fit. I thought Westbrook still had it, but dude's been a disaster, like you said. I mean,
and it's LeBron's fault.
And I know I posed this what if last week, but if Russell Westbrook was still on the Wizards, man, like would he still be Westbrook
in that East? I don't know. No,
but like he'd still be even like his his last year campaign. Like I think it would still be definitely a lot better than the Lakers, like what he did on the Lakers. I mean, I think the drop off that Russell Westbrook had was crazy. I mean, he was averaging a triple double right before he got traded to the Lakers. I mean, he was going off for the Wizards, and then he gets traded to the Lakers, and it's just all downhill from there.
Time will tell in 10 years from now, the most underrated athlete performance. He averaged a triple-double for 3 years. That is unfathomable. It's insane. Think about that. You average a triple-double for literally 3 years.
Yeah. How about that?
Old heads, by the way, oh my God, old head basketball fans are just drive me insane because they don't understand how not great they were in the 80s. But when Oscar Robertson did it for 1 year against dunking on dudes who look just like me, and like people always forget, Oscar Robertson, one of the best point guards ever. Get out of here. Like it's a joke. Westbrook did it for 3 years against the talent level of today's NBA players versus the 80s.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like, God.
He did it with people like Giannis, LeBron, Curry.
No, I'm not saying like you plot Michael Jordan in this era, he would eat too. But like, I know. But like you plop like Steph Curry back then, my God, he'd be the GOAT. You plop even Klay Thompson back then, he'd be a top 5 player ever.
Like, or even like Jason Tatum. Like it's kind of, but Jason Tatum would be creating havoc.
Tatum's amazing. Oh my God, I love Tatum too. Yeah. No, I mean, Jokic, I don't know. Jokic is the most overrated player on the planet, but I don't know. Maybe he'd do something.
I mean,
I'm gonna throw up.
center.
I am gonna physically throw up when he wins 3 MVPs in a row.
Yeah, that our show after that's gonna be generational.
Ever. I just wanted to sneak that in. I know it wasn't on our dossier there, but my God, he is gonna win 3 MVPs in a row, joining Larry Bird and Bill Russell, and he has no reason to even sniff those names. It's a joke.
Oh, yeah.
I would again, just like Tim Duncan is a top 7 player in NBA history, but he was the most boring athlete to watch. And now it's like I'm watching the same thing again. But that's the thing, not really, because Duncan at least won championships, and it was all time. Like Jokic can't even sniff the freaking finals. Like, oh my God, I'm literally the NBA. I'm gonna go nuclear when it happens. When he wins his 3rd MVP in a row, the NBA MVP award is officially invalid. Who cares? Nothing matters anymore. Because of a caliber player like Jokic, who sits in the paint all day, plays bad defense, gets layups for 30 points a game. It's just like, what are we
It's not even the 30 points. It's the like rebounds and assists that everyone's infatuated.
He's huge, and he sits there and just literally stands and grabs a board pass. Oh, here's a little layup I can do. Like it just is the most boring thing I've ever seen in basketball history. And it's like I don't know. Like Nuggets fans would kill me. They have killed me because of course they're Nuggets fans.
Wait, there's Nuggets fans out there? Sorry.
Oh, nice. but I mean, good God, man. It's just like this is the most boring athlete in American sports history right now. Terrible.
It's pretty bad. The Emmett Douglas, Nick right here on Blindside Sports. Get me on Twitter at EmmettNoC04. Get Nick at IsNickWright. Now, we're going to quickly go back to free agency here, make sure we didn't miss anything. So we talked about Juju to the Patriots, which is
overpriced. What an overpay.
Yeah.
That's just terrible.
Overpay is right. I mean, Taylor Heineke went to the Falcons. I think they're riding the Desmond Ridder train. I really do. The Falcons. That report came out a couple weeks ago, and Taylor Heineke as your starter when
he's not a scrub.
He's not a scrub, but like he's not that guy either.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed some glimpses in Washington. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm like, oh, okay, Taylor. Like, all right, but like he's not gonna be that guy like who's gonna be leading you to the playoffs. I mean, maybe unless like they like find some cheat code and they just like I don't know. But like I think Desmond Ridder is definitely the guy out there in Atlanta. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we talked about that. The Baker move is impressive. I think that's a good move for them. I think it's a pretty simple place for Baker, and that's where Baker needs to go to succeed. And that's kind of what I said for years. Like the Panthers was not going to work last year. I mean, now though in Tampa Bay, he has Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I mean, that's a pretty good couple guys to be throwing it to every week. So I think that could work. But the Seahawks, man, they picked up Draymond Jones, the good Draymond, not Draymond Green. Draymond Jones. I'm glad the Seahawks actually made a move in free agency. I'm glad it was actually for something useful, like somebody on our defense hopefully the Seahawk effect doesn't happen, like with Jamal Adams, or we trade for him, then he only plays like 8 games in 3 seasons. So I think it's definitely like if we're thinking smarts here, it's definitely a smart move made by Seattle because they have their lines or the Seahawks, their main struggle last year was defensive line, and you had a bunch of people missing just simple tackles. So I think Draymond Jones is definitely smart. They also brought back Jerron Reed, who was balling in front of Frank Clark.
Sorry, I hate to cut you off. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Something's up with my dog. 30 seconds. Sorry, everybody. We're back. 30 seconds.
All right. So Draymond Jones is definitely like a very good move for Seattle. I think it's a smart move. I'm glad the Seahawks finally made a splash in free agency. I mean, we've been, as a Hawks fan, I've been sitting here for years just like, come on, make a move. Schefter with another tweet. Oh, not to the Seahawks. And the Seahawks have struggled with like pressuring the quarterback for so long. I think Draymond Jones is a good beast in that defensive tackle. And considering how set up the Seahawks are, having that 5th pick and having their other 1st-round pick, there's a lot more options for the Seahawks to do here. I mean, you could add another guy to that secondary to pair with to Tyree Woolen. You could add another guy to pair with Draymond on that and Jaron Reed on that line. There's definitely a lot of options you can do there for Seattle. And yesterday, somebody tweeted at me saying that NFL Network was saying that. Oh, you're back?
Yep.
So yeah, somebody yesterday was tweeting at me saying OBJ could be a 3rd option for the Seahawks, and if you can
$20 million a year,
I was just gonna. The money's a little iffy. If you give Odell Beckham $20 million a year, you're really high. Man. He's not getting $20 million a year. I'm sorry to break that to you, OBJ. I know you're not listening, but you're not getting that a year. And if I can get you on the low, like a 1-year little contract on the low as a 3rd receiver, all right, I'll take him. I mean, another weapon to throw to Geno, but like you said, that $20 million a year is just crazy. And like you said, I think if he was worth that $20 million a year, he would have been signed already.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what do you get when he went to the Rams that 1 year? What did he get? Like, was it like $20 million? Like, I don't think it was that much.
It wasn't. Yeah, I don't know.
And to pay a guy who's had like 2 ACL injuries and is on the wrong side of his 20s for $20 million, even if it's 1 year, we could go pick up like Frank Clark's still on the market. I mean, we could go pick up a guy like that.
He showed up to that camp, right? I mean, he tried to show off the teams, and teams are still, it's like crickets. Like, I mean, he showed himself off, and there's still nothing. I mean,
was Odell actually good when he played the Rams? Yes. I will admit.
Well, yeah, he was a big piece of that. Yeah,
but when you've had all these injuries that you've had over the time as Odell, and you're on that wrong side of your 20s, teams aren't going to want to pay you $20 million, especially with like the depth in this free agency class for the defense, man. Like, I just don't want to pay Odell $20 million a year when I could go get a young guy in like the 4th round of the draft, and he can still be a solid receiver for me. But if we cut that price in half, now we're thinking.
So as a Seahawks fan, you're totally all in because what are you guys, the 6th pick this year? What's your
5th?
Pick? 5th. I mean, okay. By the way, Emmett, so you're in kind of the mix for one of the quarterbacks.
Yes, and this is why I said this last week on our show when you were hosting with me, and I said this to Dan Byer as well. And this is why I love our situation we're in right now, because we have so much options. Because, like I said,
sorry, I just want to interject. Do you want it? I mean, it could be like kind of a Justin Fields thing. Like, are we going to provide Geno? You get some good stuff to provide around Geno. I mean,
yes, and that's my point too. Is like it's really on the Seahawks because we have Geno locked up for 3 years. I love that contract. It's super team friendly. It's a super good deal. So the Seahawks, they have options. You could draft a quarterback, and obviously I think Pete's coaching tenure, as much as I hate to say it, he's getting older. It's probably gonna come to an end soon. He's probably gonna retire. So maybe
though. Come on,
he still has it. He still has it, but maybe like you just never know, right? Like he's an older guy. Maybe he wants to go live it up for a while. You just never know. In 3 years, you could have a quarterback developed and bring in the new coach. But then again, like Geno was it last year, and like I like the idea of riding the hot hand, and I feel like there's a part of me in my gut that's like, if we draft a quarterback, would Geno be salty by that and not be like the Geno that he was last year?
I mean, I think he would pump a fire under him because I feel like a fire was already lit under him last year. He's like, oh, okay. Literally, I think the consensus was that the Seahawks were going to be a bottom 2 team in the league. And look they should have made the playoffs. And
if we didn't have the Niners first round, if we played the Giants first round or something,
I said like I meant to say you guys made the freaking playoffs. I just think you guys get a quarterback. Geno's like, oh, okay. All right, I'm going to be
K9's not a slouch either at running back. I mean, that dude's crazy.
I think, honestly, at this point, I don't even want to play the game of like, oh, if you draft a quarterback, am I going to play? I just feel like at this point, at the time that 5 rolls by, unless Bryce Young falls that far, to which, by the way, if you guys take Richardson, that's terrible. But, I mean, if Bryce Young falls
Pete
there.
Carroll would be the guy to develop him, though.
I mean,
out of anybody,
okay, Richardson, you would be if you guys draft Richardson instead of. I think if
Bryce Young was there, I want Bryce Young or like CJ Stroud.
Okay,
But like, Pete
That-
Carroll's
I mean,
definitely gonna be a good fit for Richardson to learn the ropes from.
Ooh, I just think the way with Gino, if they totally said like, "Hey, Gino, we think you're a guy for the next few years. Let's surround you with talent and let's see what we got." I think that's the best option for the Seahawks.
With what they did this year, with what they did, like the bringing in those guys on the D line, I think they're kind of leaning towards the way of let's just ball with Gino for a while.
I think so too.
Because now you have your line figured out. You can draft like another corner, a safety with that fifth pick.
You got to think the NFC again. Who's the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFC? Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott,
Stafford probably.
But that's Stafford's healthy. Baker. I mean, good God! Like
Derek Carr's probably in there. Like,
and I guess yeah. If he's healthy, the Niners situation is fascinating too because they signed Sam Darnold. Good God! I mean, if Brock Purdy's healthy, they better go with Purdy, but Sam Darnold ain't going to get the Niners anywhere.
I think they're literally signing him because they know that, like, the most Niner thing would be for Trey Lance and Brock Purdy to both go down by, like, week 7. So,
I mean, do they have no faith in Trey Lance whatsoever?
I don't think – I honestly think they just don't – I think the Niners have a little bit of PTSD from, like, injuries. I think they're scared of, like –
bringing up 3 picks to get Trey Lance, and they're not even –
No, that's not what I'm saying. I think Lance, like, there's a chance he could start next year. I just think they're worried he's going to get hurt, and then Purdy's going to get hurt. So they want to have a third option to fall on because, oh, man, the Niners, I mean, they've had this issue for years now. I maybe you fire, like, the whole Niners training staff because they're terrible, clearly. I mean, every year this team is just battled with injuries. So, like, I think that if it's not a move to, like, say F you to Lance or Purdy, I think it's more the Niners are scared of injuries coming and decimating their quarterback.
But Sam Darnold ain't going to take him to the promised land no matter how bad
the Niners are cocky. The Niners are cocky because they saw Brock Purdy in that system. They're like, anybody. Nick Wright could come play quarterback in that system. Like, they're probably –
I mean, hey,
a little too cocky.
I will say, when I went to the Chargers training camp at SoFi a couple years ago, they have a little thing for the VIPs. You know, I'm not trying to toot my horn here, but I mean, you could literally throw footballs down the field, and like I was into little bucket things. I was nailing some shots.
There you go.
By the way, Emmett, I could be a field goal kicker because I nailed a 25-yarder, and not a lot of people did that day. So I'm just saying, I nailed. People don't believe me, and my at the time girlfriend, now wife, she recorded it, but deleted the video somehow. So there used to be actual footage of me nailing a 25-yard field goal, which the Chargers could use. So,
yeah, you could definitely recreate that. Just go to a Bears training camp.
Oh yeah, and
right down the road.
And break my ankle at Soldier Field turf. I don't think so.
Yeah, true.
I'm excited though. I'm just so annoyed that the Chargers play the Bears this year, but of course it's in LA. Like it would be the greatest to go to Soldier Field against the Chargers. I mean,
that'd be awesome.
But I mean, my wife's best friends are big. You know, they're trying to make me a White Sox fan. They're trying to make me a Bears fan. So I mean, I'm going to go to Soldier Field a lot this year, at least a couple games.
All right.
So I can't wait.
Here's my question. So now that you bring them up, so is it like? How's that going to work? Are you just going to cheer for them? Because, like, we got these people who are like, I like the Chargers, the Bears. I'm like,
no, I'm not.
You can't like two teams.
No,
You're just going to go for the fun and the vibe.
No, I'm going with the vote just for them and the vibe. I mean, I want to see live football.
Yes, okay.
Am I going to be like have a?
I'm glad you had that take.
I'm not going to be one of those. I'm not going to be one of those douchebags that I hate when I go to a sporting event and like someone wears a jersey from a team that's not even associated with the game being played. I'm not going to go with like a Herbert jersey or anything like that.
I think Justin Cooper was trying to show up to a Chargers game, that Chargers game like week 17 in SoFi with a Broncos hat on.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I will say this. Like when I go to Bears games, I will probably have this hat on, but I'm not going to like be decked out in Chargers gear. I'll have like a hoodie on with this hat. I think that's going to be fine when I go with other people. So, yeah. I mean,
just got to show them you're not a Bears fan.
Powdered blue. I'm not going to rock out with powdered blue in Soldier Field and get my ass kicked. It's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Bears fans are brutal. I mean, you were saying it the guy who took the Charger sticker off your car. I mean, that's
Oh man, yeah, I know. I know. I got a little taste of that. So I mean,
at least you're not a Chargers fan living actually no, never mind. I mean, Raiders fans are so universal because like a lot of Raider fans do live in LA, so I guess you did deal with that.
Oh yeah, they are the LA team.
But Raiders fans are pretty brutal too.
Yeah, but I mean, I met Raiders fans throughout my time in LA, and like it was never hostile.
Well, a lot of them were your coworkers, like Berto and Danny G, so they couldn't be hostile.
Literally, like on the street, kind of thing. But I mean, I wear this hat around town since I've been here for the last couple weeks. I walk around town, never had any hostility. A lot of question marks, like, is that a Charger hat? I'm like, yep. Only Charger fan in town here, guarantee you. So, yeah, it's been interesting, but I am excited. But I will wear this. St. Patrick's Day is obviously
Friday.
This weekend.
Yep.
And they do it hard in Chicago, and I have a whole plan. So one of my favorite jerseys that I own. I know you're really young for this, but the old Mighty Ducks movie where they have that green jersey and it's like a cheesy duck logo. I'm be wearing that in downtown Chicago because they dye the river green. It's a whole thing, and I'm like part Irish, so it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm kind of ready to get my ass kicked maybe because I'm gonna be wearing that green Ducks jersey. It's gonna be awesome.
They're gonna hate you.
I know because we've had a many epic playoff battles. So I mean,
yeah,
but I'm rolling with a crew like 8 deep, so I'm gonna feel.
Oh, you're fine.
If I was going with me and my wife, that's not gonna happen. But I mean, I'm rolling with a crew of like 8 deep, so I'll feel a little better that way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there. I mean, I don't know, like the hockey scene, but then again, it's Chicago.
Oh, I can't wait.
They care so much.
United Arena, I can't wait to see a Blackhawks game. It's gonna be fun. I'm planning on seeing a game before the season ends in a couple weeks, and I can't wait.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like you said, I'm going to that XFL game tomorrow, and it's at Lumen Field. That's the craziest.
Oh my
part.
god! Yeah, you gotta tell me how that is because that.
I'll get pictures.
I want to know the environment. I want to know the XFL environment.
I'll get a video. I'll tweet out a video.
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy. I think I said this before. Literally, Soldier Field, Wrigley Field, and Chicago White Sox and United are all like 20 minutes apart.
You're in like the perfect area of Chicago.
I'm in like the heart.
You're in like the. Yeah,
I mean that's the thing too. When I was in Sherman Oaks, I was kind of like I was in the valley, but I was still kind of in the heart of LA. It's it feels like the same.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we talked about this last week. You're probably right by all the hot local Chicago restaurants and.
Oh, the food. Oh, I know I said this last week, but the food down here is. I'm telling you right now, LA has good food, but man, down here it's different. It's better down here.
LA is known for like their Mexican food and all that. It's like, have you tried any of the Mexican options down in Chicago? Because I'm a big Mexican food guy.
There is one place that is actually quite expensive, but I had it once, and no, I'll even though it's my favorite besides seafood, the LA Mexican food's better. If the best that I've had down here so far is that expensive, and I mean it's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. But
not LA level.
LA Mexican food knows how to do it.
Well, I mean, there's all the food trucks and all that in LA, though, correct? Like, there's a lot of like cheap Mexican spots that were like very authentic.
So far, the quality food, like I've had a few Chinese spots where it's like the only way I can describe it, it's like the quality. Even if I buy there's a deli that's right downstairs, and I've gone to get some turkey and salami and just stuff like that. Just it feels like the quality of food for the California is just better. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It's like the turkey just tastes better here. Salami tastes better here.
It's like I got the better butchers and
hot dogs.
All that.
And it's that place. Like I know I gave up In-N-Out. But there's a place down here that's a staple called Portillo's, and it is just I've had it a few times. And I have a White Castle around the corner from me. I mean I'm good. I mean I miss In-N-Out, but man, I'm in good hands.
I was in Oregon actually this weekend. I surprised my cousin for his birthday. I had In-N-Out again, and that's all. Like, as you know, the only time I get In-N-Out, that's why I go down there. It's Southern Oregon. Oh man, it was great.
Julie said a double 3x3 or what?
Double animal style fries.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
You have to go animal style, man. I mean,
I do animal style fries.
Yes,
not the burger. The burger, I add peppers, take away the tomato. I mean, it depends on the day I'm feeling. I could take away the tomato; it doesn't really matter. But like I add peppers, and it just makes it better.
Yeah, and I like In-N-Out too. That toasted bun is.
Oh yeah. But I go 4x4. Like
Ooh.
when I go hard. Like might as well go four.
You got
patties.
and In-N-Out's like not even that expensive for like what it
That's
is
what
either.
I tweeted this earlier. Like that's the thing. It's high quality food without paying an arm and a leg for a freaking.
I think mine was like $10 for like just
right?
a double. Like it's wild.
It's way more expensive. I mean, it's way cheaper than Carl's Jr.
And freaking,
McDonald's.
I saw your tweet earlier about the mortgage of Five Guys. Oh, I love Five Guys.
And that's thing, Five Guys is fantastic. It's elite, but it's like you're paying $20 for a freaking meal. Like, no.
Yeah, I could go sit down at a local spot and get like a steak dinner for that price.
Right,
at this point.
exactly.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, I saw a thing on TikTok yesterday, and I guess it's the only thing that gives like Five Guys credit for being expensive. You could have as much bacon and cheese on there as you want with no charge.
Yeah, I mean, I
but
know
it's like not $20 worth.
I get it, but it's like it's elite. It's so good. I do like.
It's like I have it like twice a year.
Because it's just not. I mean, will I still take like a 3x3 animal style burger from In-N-Out? Yes, but I mean, Five Guys does it good too. And also, I think we talked about this too. There's a place called The Habit that is.
I have one an hour away from me. That's really good.
And I take it back. What I would take over even Five Guys. I feel like Farmer Boys doesn't get the rep that it should.
That was Farmer Boys.
Oh my God, you got to look it up. Farmer Boys is incredible. I'd take Farmer Boys over just before In-N-Out. But I will say,
is it a California thing or like East Coast?
It's a California thing.
Okay.
Yep. But I will say, White Castle. My God, fresh White Castle, not the frozen food section, is the real deal. The real deal.
I meant to try that in Vegas when I was there. Just never.
It's not. I should. It's not the same. I guarantee you, it's not the same. I had it in Vegas. It's not. It's way better since I've had it here. Way better.
Well, me being like the Washingtonian, we decided screw because it was after like some like comedy show my friend wanted to go to. It was like 1 a.m. We were like, nah, screw White Castle. Let's go to In-N-Out.
Oh yeah,
and I feel like that was definitely the right move. But
it was. But yeah, I swear. Like there's a place called Culver's that's really good too, and like there's one a few miles from here.
Yep, I've heard about. I have one of my aunts was in Illinois, and she loves like the frozen custard.
I mean, I'm not a big sweets guy. People wouldn't tell by looking at me, but I'm not. But I mean, it's all about the cheese curds. That's the best.
I love cheese curds.
Forget fries. Forget any kind of side dish. The cheese curds are the best in fast food, hands down. Yeah.
All right. But I think we got to get out of here, man. We've had a great show.
It was packed for how much content we can work with. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's so much, and I'm sure like once this Aaron Rodgers, once that gets resolved, we're gonna have a full thing to get into. But if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe. I'll definitely post a video tomorrow on Twitter of the XFL game.
I want to see it.
Because I'm sure a lot of people are curious. I'm curious too to see like how hype it is in person. So, and I'm sure once we come back from that, we'll have a whole talk about that on the show, on the podcast. And I'm sure Nick, if you get to the game in a couple days here before our next show, we'll have to compare stories. All right. Our sporting experiences. But if you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like. Go follow Nick on Twitter because I'm sure Austin Eckler gonna get resolved in a couple days and.
It's kind of at your own risk. If you want to be annoyed or not.
Yeah, if you want to be annoyed, if you want to see the biggest Nikola Jokic hater, you can go follow Nick on Twitter. If you want to see the biggest Ohtani fan, definitely Nick is your guy. Or
I will say actually, it's funny. The biggest Jokic hater is the better Nick Wright for FS1. That's what's funny. We share the same kind of thing. Anyway.
Yeah, maybe that's our claim to fame here. Maybe I should like say that on the show, like the second biggest Jokic hater.
You get for more views, be like, hey, we got Nick Wright on, but wait, when they tune in.
I should I should do if I can even do this, like edit a picture of his face over yours.
I don't know how that would.
No, I'd probably get canceled for that. But like, if I was like allowed to do that,
canceled in which way? It could be. It looks bad and like kind of like I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
My face on his or his face on mine. It's I don't know.
Hey, if anyone here like has the other Nick Wright's number, and you can get him on the show, I'll take it. But I'm sure no one. It's probably so hard to book that dude.
I know. I mean, hey, Adam Schefter somehow got Aaron Rodgers' number. Aaron Rodgers is like, what? Lose my number. Did you see that?
Yeah. You have to wonder too, like how like if you and this sounds really weird, but if you like dug like how easy it is to find like a celebrity's number
It's
on the
scary.
internet. Like it is. It really. I could probably find my number with a couple Google searches.
I know it's scary. Yeah.
But you gotta get out of here. Stay tuned though, because there's gonna be a lot of NFL stuff going on, a lot of NBA. It's a perfect time in sports because a lot of NFL. Even though Nick hates March Madness, but peace out.
Later.
Yeah, Nick.